Hello. Making a living on YouTube can be very, very tough. Don't get me wrong, it is a dream come true to be able to spend so much time researching and documenting and sharing incredibly fascinating things that I discover in my own passion, my own hobby, and turning that into a way to live life. But it's also very unusual at times, and there are quirks and there are weird and wonderful things about this platform that can make it really hard to be consistently successful. So I am trying to find new ways to fight against this inconsistency, these challenges, and to wrestle the behemoth that is YouTube into a submission that will let me continue to do this work as long as I can, because I absolutely love it. It is a dream job, and I want to find the ways that will allow me to continue doing it and to share more and more Warhammer history with all of you. There are a great many amazing creators who have already articulated in ways far better than I could some of the frustrations and difficulties around working within the constraints of the YouTube platform. So I'm not going to get into any of that, but I will say that as someone whose work is a niche within a niche, the kind of videos that I make, exploring the deep development history of Warhammer and other Games Workshop games, that is of a very particular type of audience who are going to find that. I mean, I hope that you enjoy it. I absolutely do, and I love doing it, but it is not the kind of thing that's going to get a million views, and that's absolutely fine. I totally accept that. However, I do think that the work is worthwhile, and it is really strange when a video that I've spent a long time creating, like a history of Grand Cathay over the last 40 years of Warhammer's history, if that suddenly after 48 hours stops appealing to anybody and the views just completely drop off, that can be a real challenge. Why did it happen? How could I have prevented it? What should I have done differently? Some of that absolutely lies with me and the way in which I make my videos, and there are lessons for me to learn, and I'm trying to do so. But I also really value the opportunity to delve into the topics that I do in the way that I do. So I don't want to change things too much to chase views and just chase performance, because I feel like I could lose something from the work that I'm trying to do here. So that is why I have come up with 5 ways to fight YouTube. Not literally, I'm not going to go to YouTube's head offices and try and wrestle them, but just ways that I can hopefully find a way to continue doing this work that I love so much. Speak to some of the most successful YouTube creators and they will tell you that content is king. I think Mr. Beast has said that the algorithm isn't an algorithm, it's an audience, and that all you need to do is create quality content and people will find their way to you. And I do believe that that is true. I think if I'm able to make videos that are compelling, that are interesting, and that have value, that eventually people will find them and they will want to watch them and they will want to watch more material. So I know that content is absolutely the cornerstone of success on YouTube. I need to make things that you guys want to watch. And that's why I am reprioritizing some of my topics and some of my plans so that over the next couple of months, I actually make some of the videos that I've been promising for way too long and haven't gotten around to for some legitimate reasons, but they are way overdue. So before the year is out, you can expect to see here on the Jordan Sorcery channel histories of Advanced Hero Quest and Blood Bowl. And I'm also finally going to be releasing my videos on the Storm of Chaos and the making of Warhammer Fantasy 8th edition. And I'm also going to be experimenting with some new formats, including board game reviews. I'm going to be looking at some classic Games Workshop related games that I really love, including possibly the greatest Warhammer themed board game ever made, and one that wasn't released by Games Workshop. And if you've been with me for a long time, you'll know that I have a second channel, Jordan Sorcery Pods, where I release my long-form conversation content. On that channel, I have continued to release lots and lots of interviews in my series In Conversation with Jordan Sorcery, and I have many more interviews lined up and ready to release over the coming weeks and months. I'm really excited about some of those conversations, really interesting stuff. conversations with folks like Warwick Kinraid, who helped to create the Imperial Armor series for Forge World, and Mike Mason, who used to run Games Days and helped to create Dark Heresy, the first 40k RPG, before going on to become creative director of Call of Cthulhu. And as well as those interviews, there are a couple of other podcasts on the channel, such as my GW Book Club, where my good friend Stu from the Miniature Realms YouTube channel joins me to chat about classic Games Workshop books. We recently covered the first 5 Horus Heresy books, and for Halloween, we're going to be looking at Genevieve Undead, which I am very much looking forward to. But if you didn't check it out yet, I highly recommend, though I am biased, I highly recommend the Warhammer Film Club, where I am joined by different amazing guests from across the community and the YouTube space, including Snipe and Wib, MS Paints, Peachy, Mike Hutchinson, the designer of Gaslands, and Olden Demon, to talk about films that have had a major influence on their hobbies and have intersected with the history of Warhammer. It was really fun to record those conversations. I had so much fun doing it. So much fun, in fact, that I'm already working on a new season of the show, as well as a couple of seasonal specials. There is going to be a Halloween special, and hopefully something around Christmas time as well. So go and check that out on the Jordan Sorcery Pods channel, or wherever you get your podcasts. I think you might enjoy it. Okay, time to sound the klaxons, ring the alarm bells, all of that good stuff. I have finally launched some merch, but I decided not to go easy on myself. About a year ago, I thought, wouldn't it be great if I created a range of artisanal, handmade items that are not just for your hobby, but also for your lifestyles. And it was, I think, a good idea, but it's also taken an enormous amount of time to actually sort this thing out. But I am so proud of the little boutique store that I've managed to put together and the products that I have already created. I've been calling it the Ensorcery, but really it is a storefront on eBay where you can buy physical products that have been emblazoned with the Jordan Sorcery heraldry. There are bookmarks, rulers, dice pouches, 2 types of dice, scented candles even. One is Halfling's Pantry and one is the Sea Elf's Cabin. You can buy all of these right now in the UK. Unfortunately, I've not been able to sort international shipping just yet. I'm going to keep looking into it, but for now, it's just in the UK. All you have to do is follow the link in the description. That will take you to my eBay store, or you can go straight to eBay and you can search for username Jordan Sorcery and you'll find everything. I'm even selling some retro items from my collection and will be doing so over the rest of this year. So hopefully there'll be something there that you find interesting or appealing or just want to check out. So go and have a look. I am really proud of all of this stuff. And I haven't even mentioned yet the most important items, because I am really, really pleased to announce that I have a set of miniatures that have been created for me. They are Jordan Sorcery's familiars, and they have been sculpted by legendary Games Workshop sculptor Gary Morley. These 4 miniatures represent my familiars. They are an absolutely wonderful set of 28mm weirdos. I really, really love them. And they also come with a download for a free print and play board game that I've designed that sees the familiars trying to steal the spellbook whilst the sorcerer is out of his tower so that they can cast a big spell. These miniatures, I am really, really proud of these. If I say so myself, I think that they're really great, and I am just so pleased. They are resin 28mm miniatures, and they're, I think, awesome, basically. If you don't want to buy any miniatures right now, though, and I understand I have a huge pile of shame myself, but if you still want to play the game, you can do so by going to my Patreon, where you can get hold of Familiar Frenzy, my 4-player print and play board game. It's available right now for download, so you can check that out by the link in the description below. That's not the only digital product I've done. I've also done a set of RPG NPCs for grimdark fantasy worlds. They feature genuinely incredible art by Moritz Krebs. I am really, really impressed by the art. I think it's amazing, and I love the characters that have been created as well. You can check that out at my Patreon as well, right now for download. So have at it. Sorry to have done a bit of a QVC style infomercial for all of that stuff. I completely understand if folks are not interested in going off and rushing out and buying all of that stuff. But if you are, and if you want to support the channel, I thought this was another fun way to get something tangible in reward for your support. So that's part of the reason. I think that they're really, really cool products as well. They are things that I myself really like and want to use. So hopefully you like them even a fraction as much as I absolutely love them, because I think that there's some really cool stuff, basically. So I have had a Patreon for a couple of years now, and it's only thanks to the support that I've had over there on that platform that I have been able to continue doing this work as long as I have. It has been the lifeblood of Jordan Sorcery. I am so grateful for all of that support. And because I really want to reward that community and to really make it into a community of folks who are interested in the same things I am, who want to help interrogate and investigate and research and document all of this amazing history from such an amazing company and set of games and worlds, the creative artistry of all of the Warhammer stuff that we all love so much, I think it's worth documenting. I think it's worth interrogating and understanding it more. Because of that, I have done what I can to really bring that Patreon to life. There's a lot of stuff that I share over there that never sees the YouTube channel, that isn't out in videos. I put research articles, I've done blog posts, I do behind the scenes posts, I do quizzes, I do a lot of stuff there, early access, various exclusive interviews, both recorded and videos, as well as text-based interviews. I've actually got a brand new interview on the way with Richard Wright, the artist behind Warhammer Quests tiles and Space Hulks tiles, and some amazing pieces of art for Games Workshop. All of that stuff is available to my Patreons. Again, there's no obligation here, but if you are interested in supporting my work and you want to get even more access to research and documentation about this stuff, if you find it interesting and you want to help me continue to do this, then that is one good way to support me, and you'll get something for it that hopefully you enjoy. I'm sure a lot of folks will look at YouTube and say, well, is that a real career? Is that a real job? And I completely understand that perspective. I do also think that it very much is a real job. There's a lot of stuff that has to go into creating content. It's not just sitting in front of the camera and recording it, though obviously that's a big part of it. But there's loads of research, there's loads of post-production, there's loads of other stuff. And that's not a woe is me, look how hard this job is, because it, like I said at the start, it is a dream job, but there's a lot of steps to it. And you also have to wear a lot of hats when you're creating this stuff and promoting it and putting it all out there. But it has definitely occurred to me that maybe this should just be a part-time job for me. And I should only be concentrating on the YouTube for a certain amount of time whilst I do other stuff and, explore other more traditional modes of employment. I completely understand that perspective, and that essentially is something that I am doing right now. The other part-time job that I'm doing is actually writing. So I've been lucky enough to secure a couple of opportunities with a couple of publishers to work on proper professional role-playing games. I am so proud of this, and I am, I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I am really excited by this work. I think it's awesome. I'm pleased that I've had the opportunity. I'm pleased with the work that I've done. You can actually see some of that. I did a tiny bit of writing for the core Games Masters book for the Old World RPG that came out recently from Cubicle 7. Another dream come true opportunity. Absolutely awesome. And I'm continuing to look for opportunities to do that kind of writing work and to work with lots of different RPG publishers, because I love so many RPGs. I love so much of that stuff. So being able to spend time doing it is awesome. I also just presented my first ever seminar at an academic conference of Warhammer history and research. The Warhammer Conference 2025. There is a YouTube channel. You can go and watch my seminar and many other seminars. They're really, really cool. Very, very interesting stuff. Mine was called Eldritch Aesthetics, the Diminishing Role of Gothic and Unknowable Horror in 40k. And it was just dead interesting to research and write in a different way. And essentially, that has become a part of my main job. As well as doing the YouTube, I'm also doing this other creative side of things, which feeds back in to the work I do here on YouTube. There's lots of research involved in that. There's lots of really interesting stuff to explore. That's only going to reinforce my writing for YouTube and my research for these videos, as well as my excitement to create and share content here on YouTube. So I will continue to talk about that stuff. I talk a bit more about that on my Patreon and share some of the stuff that I'm creating for myself. I'm sharing that. I'm actually working on at the moment a community your own adventure, which is going to be a choose your own adventure RPG story that my community on Patreon are going to get to choose what happens next. And every time a new chapter or set of a few pages comes out, folks will be able to say, okay, this is what we want to do. And then I will write that in response. And then people will continue to select the story and we will together create our own fantasy adventure. So that kind of thing is stuff I'm exploring and I'm doing alongside this that also has me super excited and is just another part of keeping this YouTube thing going and finding new ways to support this content creation job because I really love it. The last thing is that I am just going to ask you once again, and I know you will be bored of this and will have heard this a million times from a million creators on a million videos. But if you enjoy any of my content, please do consider leaving a like, leaving a comment, subscribing to this channel and to the Jordan Sorcery Pods channel, and sharing this content out in the wider world. If you enjoyed one of my videos, please feel free to tell your friends about it, to share it wherever something is relevant and is being discussed. It is hugely, hugely helpful. If you want to support me directly on YouTube, you can do so by becoming a member of this channel. You will get exclusive access to my Hobby Bench podcast, which is a sort of little behind the scenes monologue that I do every fortnight. I share that here on YouTube to members as well as on Patreon to Patreon supporters. You can do that right through YouTube, through the memberships. Anything you can do to support, whether it's financial, that's obviously enormously helpful, but even just being here, watching the videos and telling people about them and engaging with them is hugely, hugely important. I'm very, very grateful. I appreciate it so much. I hope that this video hasn't come across as a sort of a whiny, self-pitying anything. I love this work. I love doing it. And I love every aspect of it. I'm hugely grateful to be able to do this stuff. I want to keep doing it. I want to do more of it. And I hope that you guys enjoy it enough to want me to do it as well. So if there's any way that you can find to support me, whether that is going and checking out the things that I've put on my little merch store that I'm starting to sell, whether it's downloading digital products, whether it's supporting me on Patreon, supporting me here on YouTube memberships, subscribing to the channel, liking, sharing, and talking about my videos, all of it is hugely important. And I've got some amazing content coming up over the rest of this year that I'm really excited to share. I hope that you are excited about it as well. Please stick around, and together we can really delve into these incredible histories, these incredible stories, and just find out more about the history of Warhammer. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Jordan, and this is Jordan Sorcery.